Hello, y'all. I'm here to discuss the 2021 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. And surprisingly, two people is on the list that I didn't think should be on the list because I thought they was already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But we're going to get to that in a moment. But to read the list, we got Mary J. Blige, Kate Bush, Devo, Foo Fighters, The Go-Go's, Iron Maiden, Jay-Z, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Carole King, Fela Kuti, LL Cool J, New York Dolls, Rage Against the Machine, Todd Rundgren, Tina Turner, and Dion. And you know, it's funny that they put those last two at the bottom. Tina Turner and Dion. Now, the list ain't in no particular order, but it's just coincidental that those two names are at the bottom, considering that, once again, I told y'all, it's two people on this list that I thought would already be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and one partially is, but Anime, eat the cake, Anime Bullock. Honey, Anime, aka Tina Turner, you telling me, as a solo artist, of how many years she been solo for, I want to say, well over 40 some years, going into 50 years. You telling me the queen of rock and roll, is just now being considered for a solo Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because I know she got it back in the 90s with Ike and Tina Turner. But since then, Tina Turner has become a more powerful name by herself than she was with Ike. And you telling me she is just now being considered? And then Dionne Warwick, honey, her ass be the first, but now, especially with her ass on darn on Twitter, just tweeting up, smiling like darn on Mrs. Potato Head. She be the first one to tell you, though, honey, I'm an icon, honey. I've been in this game for 50 years. I am the pioneer of pop music. But girl, after 50 years, they just finally darn gonna want to give you the rock and roll nomination. But honey, let me tell you something good. Let me tell you something good. Ain't that Shaka Khan song? Honey, I hate to use this song against you, Shaka. Shaka, you ain't even in the darn gonna mention for this, honey. Jay-Z, honey, you are you are the most phenomenal intellectual lyricist that has graced the game. Nobody, and I mean nobody, Eminem, nobody can touch Jay-Z's intellectual, wordplay. His darn the way that he uses words and the double entendres and stuff just goes over the pill poppers like darn Casper, aka Eminem, honey. Nobody can match darn Eminem. Jay-Z. Nobody can't match Eminem's speed and all that bullshit that he gives. But as far as Jay-Z on an intellectual level, honey, nobody touches Jay-Z. However, Jay-Z, this is your first year up for nomination. You can wait till next year. In my humble opinion, I think that it's only fair that the queen of rock and roll be nominated. Jay-Z, yeah, you got 25 years up in this. But Miss Darngoin Anime, aka Tina Turner, got over darngoin 60 years up in this shit. She is, as a matter of fact, she paved the way for a lot of these folks in many ways, including my favorite, Beyonce. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring out the darngoin the stuff that she has done, honey. 1989 best rock vocal performance. 1987, 86, 85. So she won it 4 years in a row. And once again, that is I'm mentioning those years, 1985, 86, 87, 89, because that's around the time that Private Dancer came out. The Private Dancer era. I'll be your private dancer. Honey, that was her breakout hit, separate from Ike. So the thing is, she went to achieve these awards post Ike and Tina Turner. This is solely Tina Turner right here. Record of the year, song of the year, all in the 80s. And hell, she even got one in 2008. Lifetime Achievement Award 2018. MTV Award nominations. So you got a total of what? I think 10 to 12 Grammys. She is one of the only artists of her time that can compete. Actually, she can darn gonna put some of these other ones to shame. Because Jay-Z, we're not going to act like a few years ago that the news stories wasn't out that you had to bump people all the way from the back row because so little people came to your concerts without Beyonce. This is no shade. I'm just spilling the truth to you. That you had to reduce the cost and front row seats were going for as little as $14. Third row seats were going for $6. You put Beyonce on it, the tickets go from $14 front row to like $400. Now Tina Turner can still command people to pay at least $60 to $100 for front row tickets today. Tina Turner, unlike any of her other counterparts in her age range, honey, Dionne Warwick, Diana Ross, who else is still alive and kicking? Patti LaBelle, honey, none of them can fill up a stadium. Honey, Patti LaBelle, phenomenal vocalist. Chaka Khan, you know, she's still recovering from her pill addiction. No shade, you know, she admitted to herself she done finally came out and admit her faults. And it's done took a damp on her vocals. But she ain't commanding no darn on arena, let alone a stadium. Who else? Hell, there ain't nobody else. Madonna. Okay, Madonna as far as the white, Madonna is the only one that can do it. But she's on the pop side of the arena. But I'm talking about as far as, and Madonna really don't count. Madonna's a generation under, Madonna don't count. She's a generation underneath them. I'm thinking about people all in their age range. Stevie Wonder, I want to say, is probably closer to Tina Turner, if I'm not mistaken. So Stevie Wonder, Patti LaBelle, what's the other one? Gladys Knight. None of they asses can darn gonna sell like Tina Turner. That's true T. She's the only artist I want to say that actually has chart-topping hits in every decade since the 60s. Up until this decade right here, the 2020s. I want to say My Good Auntie that had a hit in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. And then I want to say she also had one in the 2010s, if I'm not mistaken. And then that's when she finally darn gonna wrapped it up. So she crosses 6 different decades. Who else can say that? Now, Miss darn going Queen of Pop. Now, girl, you are for honorable mention. Yeah, your songs have stood the test of time, but they ain't stood the test of the darn gone charts. Now, Dionne Warwick, matter of fact, Jay-Z, we're going to bump you into darn gone 2023. Because this is what I'm about to do. Tina Turner should get it this year. Dionne should get it next year. And then we can go to 2023. And hell, even in 2023, you still got Chaka Khan to deal with. Now, let's not act like Chaka don't got a darn gone slew of hits. Matter of fact, let me see Chaka's darn gone back. Oh, Lord. And then you got Mary J. Blige. Oh, child. Now, and then you got LL Cool J. But see, I give it to you over LL Cool J. I will say you more. But is we going to say darn gone Jay-Z should get it over darn gone Chaka Khan? I don't know. I personally would think Chaka Khan should be third in line. If it's up to, see, this is probably why they wouldn't have me on the board. And you know, Beyonce and them looking at me right now like, now, bitch, you really trying it with Jay. Like I said, now on the rap side, honey, we could introduce him as the most, successful rapper there ever was. But since this is talking about artists overall, and it's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think it's only right that the woman who has stood the test of time 6 different darn gone decades 3 different generations. She needs to be in the shit first. Once again, the disrespect that the queen of rock and roll would lose to the king of rap. No. And I know anybody can darn gonna be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But that's not gonna look nice that you're gonna say the woman who got 6 decades up in this bitch is darn going have to wait before for the person who just first year in. Honey, there's gonna be all types of calling out misogyny, and then we need to find out who's gonna be the ones putting in their votes for this shit. Like, is it dominantly males? Is it white? Is it a combination of white and black males? Like, how is this shit going to go down? How is this shit going to go down? And like I said, this is no disrespect to the rappers, cause y'all know my second most favorite artist, who she was inducted recently, Missy Elliott, rightfully so. The song. Oh wait a minute, that was the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Wait a minute. I don't know. Let me see. Has she been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? My bad. That was the Songwriters Hall of Fame. But let me see. Missy Elliott, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's see when she's due. Because Lord knows if they put her up on there, honey, Jay-Z, you're gonna be waiting even longer. Because if I had to choose between Missy Elliott and Jay-Z, child boo. Y'all know I'm going with Missy. So, Missy Elliott Hall of Fame. Okay, she was introduced into the Hall of Fame, I want to say 2018, the year after Jay-Z. So, both of them were the first rappers back to back. So Missy Elliott, the first female rapper to be introduced into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Then Jay-Z, but she has not been nominated yet for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I don't know why. Like, Missy, what's going on with your camp, boo, honey? You should have been on this list. Nah, y'all can darn go hate me. Yeah, we can get it started. We can get it started. We can get it started. Honey, we can get the shit started in the comment section. Child, excuse me, y'all. But, honey, I'm trying to figure out how Mary J. Blige get up on the list before. And once again, I know I'm shady. But how the hell Mary J. Blige get on the list before darn on Missy Elliott? And I know y'all saying, well, damn, while Missy Elliott done already got this, I don't give a damn. Missy Elliott is that bitch. She should get all her flowers. And I'm trying to figure out how in the hell Mary J. Blige is up for the flower giving before doggone Missy Elliott. Once again, I understand she's the queen of hip-hop soul. But, honey, Missy Elliott is the singer, the songwriter, and she had, with the help of Timbaland, honey, that creative concept. Yeah, she ain't the one that comes up with the creative concept as far as constructing the shit. But, honey, she has a part in darn going, orchestrating the artistry. So, once again, nobody does the shit that darn gone Missy Elliott do. Honey, I can name you about 10, 12 people who give you soulfulness like Mary J. Blige, honey. Mary J. Blige, once again, she's phenomenal. Dun, 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 dun. Honey, she's my bitch that I play on nonstop when I go through a sad day, honey. But once again, there's plenty of different people that can give me Mary. From honey, India Reed, Jasmine, later on in years, Jasmine Sullivan. Honey, we can go on to Jill Scott. Honey, we can go to who else that gives me those sad blue? Honey, we can go to the Faith Evans route and all of that shit. But Jaguar, no. I know somebody gonna be like, "Well, what maybe Jack?" No. Honey, that bitch darn gone. Honey, Jaguar is only above darn going Mary in her own head. So with that being said, There's plenty of people that can get me Mary. Nobody can't get me Missy. So I'm trying to figure out how the hell Mary get on this list. And then these other folks, I don't even know who this is. And you know, maybe these are the white side. Like I said, I understand they got to be fair and across the board. So these are pretty much the super huge equivalents in the white community that I don't know. Now, I've heard of the Go-Go's. Now, okay, the Go-Go's, I can see them on the list. I can't tell you who the hell a Ty Rudgren is. Rage Against the Machine, I haven't heard of that. Iron Maiden, I've heard of Kate Bush. I've heard of Foo Fighters. Okay, Foo Fighters, okay. But I'm trying to figure out why in the hell is darn on Tina Turner and Dionne Warwick had to wait to damn near death to darn gonna be put on the list. And like I said, if Jay-Z gets the shit over them, I'm going to really be over it. I'm really going to be over it. And like I said, y'all can demote me from the Secretary of State of the Beehive. It is what it is. I gladly send in my resignation to Beyonce. Once again, I just got to keep it real, girl. Jay-Z up against the Queen of Rock and Roll. I'm going with the Queen of Rock and Roll. But what is y'all thoughts? Y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Out of the, how many people are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Honey, darn just as many nominations as the people going up for this year's what's the Presidential Medal of Freedom? Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, help me loose. Ain't that's what it's called, the Presidential Medal of Freedom? There's about a dozen nominations for that shit. But anyways, as far as nominations for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, honey, it should go to none other than the Queen of Rock and Roll. And I hate to compare my black people during Black History Month, but honey, Miss Tina Turner has a darn a list of achievements and accolades that far supersedes LL Cool J, Jay-Z, and Mary J. Blige combined. Now, once again, Dionne Warwick might give her a little run, just a little bit. Dionne, you give her a little sprint for her money. But Tina Turner is going to outrun you all the way around with the 6-inch heels on. Because before there was 6-inch heels, I walks in the club like nobody business. Before it was 6-inch, it was I be your private dancer. Honey, once again, I don't see nobody emulating you in this day and age, girl. Honey, you got all the girls emulating the darn on Tina Turner. And including our modern day success, who is the highest touring grossing black artist in the history. And is the most awarded darn black artist alive. Beyonce. And is about to be the darn most Grammy honored female alive. Because I keep forgetting who's the darn woman that has 27 Grammys. But honey, Beyonce is currently at what, 24, 25. She only need about 3 to debunk her. The country artist singer that nobody can think of until we always get reminded that there's still somebody who has more Grammys than Beyonce as far as a female. But once again, Tina Turner paved the way for Beyonce. So Jay-Z, I understand you paved the way for some of these, but that's not really saying much because, honey, all these darn people underneath you are doing this mumbling shit. See, Tina Turner can say she got Beyonce underneath her. Now, Jay-Z, who is you claiming? Now, I'm just keeping it real. Now, who are we going to say is the person that is the equivalent to Jay-Z of this time? I'll wait. But I ain't going to be waiting too, honey, because the answer to that is, honey, I be qualified for AARP before we get somebody of another generation that can get to darn Jay-Z skill. I'm okay. Maybe we can say Kendrick Lamar. Okay, I might give you Kendrick, but Kendrick, he's still fresh in this game. Honey, Beyonce darn well seasoned. But anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Who y'all think should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Me personally, I'm putting my money on darn gone Miss Tina Turner. But y'all tell me who y'all thoughts are down below. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.